Yeah, so I don't believe in coincidences. I don't believe that it's a coincidence that the Democrats are now deciding to fold less than 1 week after their last election. Do you really think it's a coincidence that they shut down the government up until less than 1 week after the election? Maybe I'd believe it was a coincidence if I didn't know what happened earlier this year regarding the ACA extensions. There was a House Problem Solvers Caucus, which was bipartisan, meaning both parties were in on it. They released initial principles for the ACA reforms, including a 1 year extension with income caps of $200,000 per household, with built in fraud checks. Although it didn't become official, during March and April of 2025, there were Senate hearings on marketplace rules. They even drafted up the Senate ACA Stability Act. As the November election got closer and closer, vulnerable Senate Republicans started actually lobbying in favor of the 1 year extension. Well, it turns out they had a deadline of June to make up this decision, so what did they do? They just passed it on to the fall budget bill. If you ask me, it should be completely illegal that Congress does this, but what they do is they add in a bunch of unfavorable bills that aren't going to pass Congress, and they put them in the budget because the budget absolutely has to be passed. Mind you, the Biden administration in 2022 extended it by 3 years, that way they wouldn't have to deal with it. Do you really think it's a coincidence that they have to deal with this in the first year of a new president? Absolutely not. The only reason that they were given those subsidies in 2022 is because of the pandemic. Mandated health insurance is not healthcare, and we need a separation between healthcare and health insurance, because what's happening is our wealth is being drained by our government and being sent to insurance companies. Side note, Obamacare was also put into a massive budget bill because it was that unfavorable when they originally passed it. And they also shut the government down to make it happen. Alright, let's check out some of the things that I would consider a complete and utter failure of Obamacare. Originally, they claimed that the deficit impact was supposed to be positive. We were supposed to receive a surplus of money thanks to Obamacare, and it was all supposed to pay for itself. In reality, they drained an additional $200 to $300 billion from taxpayers. They also promised shorter ER wait times, but that didn't happen. Instead, you were waiting an average of 3.5 hours, which is up from 2.8 hours in 2010. They promised more primary care doctors, but that's not what happened, and it's only getting worse. We were promised better chronic disease control, and we ended up with more obesity. We were promised reduced health disparities, and we ended up with a higher Black maternal mortality rate. We were promised lower uncompensated care, but in reality, bad debt within hospitals went up 15% since 2020 alone. We got 24 million new insurance cards instead of 24 million new doctor's appointments. We got $1.8 trillion in subsidies, and they didn't build the 1,800 new facilities that they were supposed to. They only builded 150. This was financial reform, not healthcare reform. I will say I am a big fan of them unveiling their plan. Now you see, when you are dependent on the government, they can dangle things in front of you that benefit them and their lobbyists and not you. The Democrats wanted permanent funding and funding for the healthcare of illegal immigrants.